calling you out before I get into this. How cool is this? Thank you. One of the nuns made it for me. Adams for Peace. St. Michael. Megan Rice. So it's a Megan Rice piece. Should get out my painting of Megan Rice over here. But anyway, I love it, by the way. I really love it. So, we got some good news. So, at COP, battle lines are being drawn. Oh, are the battle lines being drawn? France is pissed. Comes out, we're thrown down. Okay, there's one. You got one. Pro-bailout nukers. So, get this one. Now, this one really calls out the dichotomy of nuclearism. People can't decide if it's right or if it's left. They're mixed up on this. They can't figure it out. By the way, Peter was up at Senator Alfred, got a really great video on the nuclear waste. District 49, Michael Evans spoke today about Fukushima, talked a lot about it. He's my favorite congressman, by the way. He's my favorite politician because he's taken on Senator Alfred in a big way. I've had lots of congress. By the way, I hooked him up with him and Ben McAdams, but Ben McAdams got beat. Here by what? In Utah? By Burgess Owens? Why would Utah vote for a guy? Because he's on Fox News and they've jerry-rigged the district. So, but anyway, Duncan Hunter's rabbit. So, this one calls out the pure dichotomy of this all. So, this is the National. You can read it. Far right-leaning paper publication. They even headline, they call out liberals on this. Now, I want to say this to you. Now, stay with me. This is the dichotomy in political theater on this. Right, left. So, I thought that the right was free market capitalists. That's all we've heard for freaking 20 years. The tax the future and spend GOP. You know, by the way, if you cash a stimulus check, you're no free market capitalist of any form. If you got a government loan, you got a government grant, and then the COVID whole thing, you know, again, I mean, that's just the facts of life. So the headlines on this calls out, and so Canada, Glasgow, Canada, there you go. I don't think last of the Mohicans, you know, Montreal, freaking, I mean, what a dichotomy. Canada, COP comes out, no way, nope, we're not going for green nuclear in this COP package. Nope, we're going to let the free market decide on. We know what the free market would have ever been on nuclear. It wouldn't exist, would it? Now, here's the dichotomy. All we've heard for years now is what free market capitalists on the right, which we know that's not true. Of course, the left, we've heard American exceptionalism, charismatic, you know, Barry Antoinette, let them eat yellow cake. Look at me, I'm a billionaire socialist to the left. Indentured peasant slaves, free market capitalists to the right. So in the thing, it calls it out. It tags the headline. Oh, the liberal. He says, I thought that's what you wanted. I thought the right was all about free markets. Look, it's what Canada said. They said we're going to... So, let's start keeping score. And we can keep score. Of course, we know Austria. No way. Denmark, no way. The big one, Germany. Oh, hell no. They've shut them all down and they're sticking with it. Soar, wind, soar. Wind, soar. I mean, Alison Martin makes a statement that's so naive and so ignorant. She was head of the NRC. I mean, just pathetic. You know, so we've shut down so many reactors and they're still trying to shove down your throat 20%. And, you know, it's like we were talking Diablo Canyon today. I'm like, please. Diablo Canyon takes more energy to stay open than it does produces. Because they don't even talk about the energy that it takes to keep the spent fuel pools cool. And for instance, in Texas, when they froze, remember the nuclear reactors didn't work? Not only that, they're sucking up negative energy because they had to use energy to keep them spent fuels from freezing. You don't want frozen spent fuel pools, the expansion, they blow to smithereens. So they don't even take the effect that the energy they're sucking out to keep spent fuel. They ignore the pot of dead wells in the freaking room, Fukushima. But they also ignore the fact that the spent fuel pools are piling up by law. It was supposed to be in Yucca Mountain by 1971. There's no repository. They just keep piling up. Now, Mike Levin made another statement today about moving it off the beach. Now, Peter was there. We've got it out of the freaking reaction. This is important. Now, stay with me. Because San Onofre told us to take us 50 years and over $1 billion to decommission. Now, Holtec's working 7 days a week. Peter says you could hear him up there going crazy. They are 40 years ahead of schedule. 40. They are well over $500 million under budget. Now, by the way, in SoCal, you're going to get a check. Each individual, ratepayers, you're going to get a check, on the... So, another exposed live the nuclear energy crime syndicate. Oh, we're producing 20% of the United States. That's bullshit. Even if you believe that 104 reactors, we're down into the, 60s. So you're trying to tell me 6 reactors are producing 104 reactors, then why are we paying for all these reactors? Because you're liars. Just like, Japan. All these reactors have all been shut down. They've only fired up 2. There's no rolling back outside Japan. Oh, coal hasn't gone crazy. No. And how can you try to divide up with, you got to have nuclear or coal? Well, you want to have cyanide or arsenic. We don't need either one of them. California's proven it. California's producing 200% more solar a day they can use. They got nowhere to put it. Look at Denmark. Look at Austria. They use all kinds of energies. In Denmark, it's dark 6 months a year. Yet they're almost all the way 100%. I mean, they're getting close to 100% renewables. Wind? Oh, hell yeah. Come on. We've been using wind in that part of the world, the Netherlands, all over there for thousands of years. They've gotten good. Not only that, they have anti-consumption campaigns. And the anti-consumption campaigns were? Italy. You should see how Italy's done it. Go talk to your pro-nuclear stuff in Italy. So Italy said no. Germany said no. Spain said no. almost all the Western European countries. Now Canada said no. Oh, France. Yes. Poland, yes. Some of the old Soviet Union that, basically got threats from Putin. Of course, Russia is all in. The United States all in. London Liz all in. Israel all in. The usual players. But, so we got France, Israel, United States, Russia. Those 4, they got Poland, and they got those 4 are your heavy hitters. And, they're the military industrial, you know what they are. So, we have Germany, 9. Spain. Italy's a big one, 9. No. Denmark, Norway, Sweden on the fence. They haven't said yet. Interesting. Canada yesterday, COP. No. Battle lines are being drawn. So the dichotomy, to me, this is why it's so mixed up. Right? I mean, Alex Jones took it on. The right wing took it on. Fukushima. Well, it was just hatred for Obama, which I would understand because Obama was exactly what they want. Obama was status quo. Obama was Bush. Well, he wasn't even Bush. Yeah, I don't know. He was Trump. But then they just dropped it. I thought you wanted free markets. So this article is perfect on the dichotomy of is this right or left issue, which that's the problem. It's not. It's pork. The nuclear DOE subsidy is gargantuan. It's billions, gazillions, zillion, and there's a lot of money in it. That's what it is. It's not clean. It's not green. Never was. It's, we got uranium mines. You got uranium. And it's not natural uranium 238. It's 235. They have to centrifuge it. The centrifuge is the nastiest, rotten, toxic. It makes coal look like a church mouse. It's nuclear is 10 times dirtier than coal, and we don't need either one. So this is perfect. Liberals say no nuclear. Well, he says, that doesn't sound like a liberal to me. Does it? What he says? He says we're going to let the free market decide between wind and solar and nuclear. I mean, there's the dichotomy in this whole fight. They use anti-consumption junkie campaigns all over Europe. They're everywhere. Around here, I mean, they're really at billboards. They have these cool freaking, they almost look like Hanson characters dressed up, and they got pizza hanging out of their ass, and and they're consumption freaks, and they point blank and they say, have you been to the United States? When most Europeans have now, and they're like, you want to be like them? Stop consuming, and they're like, yeah. And they have. Their anti-consumption campaigns have worked. They have lowered consumption dramatically in many European countries. They recycle God, when I'm in Austria, of course, Austrians have always been fantastic recyclers. Their recycling goes back freaking hundreds of years. I mean, you see their farms, they are so pristine. It's stunning, actually. Talk about well-ran. I'm friends with one of the street sweepers in Vienna, and I'm like, you always have all the hottest girls, I was just thinking about this 10 years ago today, before I got cancer. It's a week I'd be out and about, you know what us guys do, us young guys. Yeah, I'm going back to being young. I'm calling myself a young guy because I got out of prison this week. I've been in prison for 10 years. 10 years. I got off paper, I got off parole. 10 years sentence I did, though I committed no crime. I didn't commit any crime. 10 years. I've been in that cancer treatment program. I've been in that cancer prison for 10 years. This will be the first week in 10 years I don't even have to go get a blood work. I'm off paper. I don't have to report. I'm finally healthy again. And my mind can feel it, boy. My mind is so different in the last 2 days. I have been so squarely focused on that 10-year mark, trying to stay alive. I've been battling, man. It's been a war, but it's like in Vienna. I saw an article the other day, and they're like, the brothels in Vienna are giving free COVID. They're actually giving vouchers for, their services at the brothels. Yeah. I'm really proud of the Europeans, especially all the Western Europeans. Really what they've done over there. I've spent enough time there that it's breathtaking, actually, how they've done it. How conscious they are. You're like, hell no. They know nuclear's not green. And you even bring it up, it'd be an extra. They just bring up one word, Fukushima. And, this story says it all. So Mike Levin gave another talk today at a town hall. I'll be in San Diego here soon, very soon. Looks like I'll probably get there the 2nd of December. And I'm meeting with him on the 11th of December. I'm really considering moving back to PB or PG, but the only reason I haven't is, well, my cancer tied here, my grandchildren, my place, but I'm so pissed off at Utah right now. Funding nuclear energies, and then they call themselves free. It's disgusting and disturbing what they've done here. The disrespect I get here. It's the water situation that I have a problem with in San Diego because of the desal plant. That water's not healthy. 15 to 20% of all water in San Diego County is coming from the ocean. Fish can't live in it. The desal plant in Carlsbad. So I hooked Levin and Ben McAdams up. I'm real proud of him too. He's finally a politician, one out of how many that I actually like, who actually is trying. We're going to get that off that beach. We're going to finish this job. And then TikTok, and it kills me about Diablo. I never seen such a marketing campaign going wild and going psycho I mean, the salmon have collapsed. The tide pulls at your feet on Diablo, keeping Diablo. There are gung-ho, dead set, Chew, Stanford, Teller's baby, writing papers, everything to say. I mean, we're going to... Because they know as California goes. Just like they did the same thing in Germany. They know in Germany. Austria's like, hell no. Italy, hell no. Spain, hell no. The only Western European country out of them all that says yes is France. Okay, you're going to try to, I guess they're going to back out of the EU. The taxonomy. The Net Zero Alliance, those real ones, not the fake ones. Bezos out talking about you're only going to have to be able to live on Earth if you have permission. Oh, God. These fucking imperialists are enough to make you puke. Bezos, Gates, and fucking... Why are all these imperialists all pro-nukers, too, by the way? Love the necklace. Long live Megan Rice. Battle lines are drawn. Thank you. I couldn't believe when I saw this. And they report this as the liberals are saying, let the free market. And I mean, it throws the whole dichotomy in the mix, don't it? It's perfect for nuclear, right? They're saying these liberals say they won't stimulate freaking... This is a far-right free market capitalist publication that reports it like that. These liberals want to let the free market set the thing for us. Talk. I mean, where's Alex? I mean, oh God, thank God, he's gone. But this fight is tactical, and it's not left right. Obviously, Utah's bailed them out. And New York's bailed them out. Politically, they're supposed to be polar opposites, which we know they're not. So France, come on. Last of the Mohicans up there in Canada. The centrifuge process is up there. That thing is so nasty and disgusting. It's not clean. It's not green. Surely ain't cheap. Clean green, too cheap to meter. So this is a big deal. It's a big story. In Diablo Canyon, they won't even talk about the elephants in the room, the pot of... Nobody will talk about this in their models of spent fuel that's on site. 7.6 earthquake, it's over at Diablo. You'll be evacuating Los Angeles. My grandson wanted to go to the toy thing at the Union Station today, so we went down to it and had a big old thing of Hulk, and we were talking about Hulk being made of plutonium. Lou Ferrigno lives near Diablo Canyon. I got to tell you, this one of the times I've been protesting. I've protested many times in my life at Diablo Canyon since, with Moo Brown, who ended up being a fraud. Still the money sent off free. And Peter goes off on Kamala Harris. Where are you going? You're MIA. Yeah, where are you, Kamala? Where's anybody, TikTok, Diablo Canyon clock. They won't talk about the 40 years of spent fuel stashed up in those things. Very interesting dichotomy. Huh. It takes more power to keep them cool than they produce. Free market. Okay. You cash that stimulus check, you get that government PP loan, then you're no free market capitalist. Up is down, black is white, red is blue now. Blue is red, James Carville Pink, it fucking stinks. This is a big deal. The battle lines are drawn, and we know the imperialists, the United States, Israel, Russia, and London Liz. They're the four. And that's not my words, that's ICANN's, on which came first, the nuclear chicken or the egg. Now, back to plowshares, Megan used to be mad at me at times, but I would say this. This is my quote I always use now. What would Megan Rice say to me? And I know what she would say to me. Kevin, you just keep fighting, and you fight for what's right. And let God sort it all out. Yeah. Let's go look at our Megan Rice painting real quick and end this. If I can find it. Where did I put that thing? This is painted by Thomas Ackerman. And given to Kevin Blanche. Using a lot of good activism. great painting, by the way. Really a great painting. One Man Band Blanche. Let's see if I should have that ready. Yeah, I should do a lot of things, but I'm organic. There we go. Don't drop your camera. It's really a fantastic painting. I'll sell it. Opening bid's $100,000 for that. Well, let's opening bid at $200,000. Half the money I'll send to the Dorothy Day House in D.C. It's long live Megan Rice. I got to tell you, my grandson. I want to tell you, you nuns that, and the artist who made this for me. My grandson saw this, Jay. He said, "Oh, where did you get that? Where did you get that?" He says, "Looks like a well. It's from the ocean, right? Right?" And I showed him Atoms for Peace on one side, St. Michael, and I told him about the scripture, plowing, how it got named plowshares. But I will quote Sister Snow at Megan Rice's hearing. I will quote her at the potluck. Kevin Lynch. In the hearing, Megan Rice, I sat with Mary Evelyn Tucker holding my one hand, and then the first ordained Roman Catholic female priest, which we have them in the United States, who I helped her write the answers on the Plowshare 13 in Kansas City. I love those guys. She says, "Kevin," I says, "yeah, you're going to read the right act to me. I'm in trouble with you for saying that plowshares, because they've said for years that they're okay with the technology, but not the bomb." And I says, "You're out of line there. The nuclear energy reactor, you have to have that to make the bomb. They're one and the same. Stop that. You're okay with the bomb. With the nuclear energy reactor, not the bomb. You mad at me for doing all that?" She says, "No, you sure said that straight." She looked right at me and she says, "I believe you were sent from God." I just got a call from Craig at the peace vigil. He was arguing with a guy about Fukushima. I set him straight. Anyway, Fukushima's killed no one. He says he's read it on Wikipedia. Okay. Then I asked him what the jet stream was, and he didn't know. I said, "Well, you having a conversation with a person like that?" So I'm at the peace vigil, and here comes the Dorothy Day House, which I'm a huge fan of Dorothy Day's. If you haven't noticed, she's one of my favorites ever. True man. God, my favorite radical. Yeah, probably is her. So I walk up real quietly, and there's Megan Rice. They're all there. She says, "Okay if I stand with you and get some photographs? Would that be okay with you ladies?" "Yes, sure." So I'm standing there taking a picture, and I see Megan looking over at me like that. And then finally she walks over and just hugged me. We both of us had tears coming out of our eyes. First time I'd saw her since she got put in prison. Though I walked through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. It's been a long thing. I'm out of prison after all those years. Go back to my old life? I don't think I ever could. This last 10 years changed me so hardcore. Yeah, how could I not? I'm only human. Of flesh and blood I'm made. I'll keep doing the work. And I'll keep be guided by God or whatever gods there be. The native spirits, whatever the powers there be, son of Cassandra. Freedom Eisenblatt, Ken Blanche. On the 2nd anniversary of Waterloo. She was full of cancer. She requested the meeting. She was worried about her English. 4 hours she grilled me. She never missed a word. Kevin Blanche, you're the tip of the spear in this fight. You never picked it. I never picked it. You picked us. You're it. Now I know. I'm the one that announced to the world she had passed the greatest anti-nuclear activist who ever lived. Nuclear energy activist that ever lived. Freedom Eisenblau. They're usually women, aren't they? Carrie Barefoot Dixon. Madeline Rice. Madeline Rice was a powerhouse. Dorothy Day. You're it. She was dying. She didn't tell anyone. She knew she was dying. She was passing on that freaking sword. No. Plowshares. I taught him today about what the plowshares means. And, you know, I'm not getting into all Christianity versus Buddhism versus Hinduism versus Judaism versus, you know, any ism. Logic. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. You know, thank you, Canada. And come on. Quit dividing up and political figure. Obama and Trump are identical things. There's no difference if we haven't learned that. Thank you to Mike Levin in District 49, panning for plutonium. We're going to finish this job. Kevin, he knows that Kevin Blanch kicked over that fucking thing. Daryl Isis, Duncan Hunter's rabbit. You know, if you don't know about Duncan Hunter, they were swingers, you know, up there in inland, Alpine. I'll be back in San Diego soon. I got a lot of work I'm going to be doing there. Set up shop there for a while. So we're going to get that moved. As California goes, the rest of the United States will go asymmetric to the political theater that's being carried on, the propagandists lead for Diablo Canyon. We know why it's named Diablo. Tsunami and earthquake happened there. All it would take is a long video. All it would take was at my work, I'm thinking about it. 7.6 earthquake would bust those freaking cement fuel pools open. And it only takes a minute and they're going to go into Zephyr. That's every bit as bad as a nuclear core meltdown. And you're going to be evacuating the most beautiful place in the world, the whole central coast of California. Where's your Big Sur cross? God. One last thing. Another one. You should have had that right. Busy day. You know, and you know me. I freelance. I'm organic. You know, I got a lot of hats to cover and a lot of work to do. You know, I got a lot of work to do. I was thinking this would be my new gig to the anti-nukers. And this is so cool that Russ, who runs the old Catholic mission in the Redwoods in Big Sur, he said when he took over 40 years ago, and the irony of this is because I slept at Father Sierra's grave when I almost drowned in Carmel walking the coast. You know, he's the one that brought the Pope there. You know, and I verified this. It's true. He is the one that brought the Pope there on the miracle with the nuns inside that mission. Father Sierra, you know, he gave that to my grandson. He says, when he got the keys to that's the spiritual hallowed place. He said, when I got there, there was a few of these laying around that the monks carved. So when I go to Tiab, remember when we used to walk on Easter and strap the cross to our back? You know, he used to do that. We'd follow him on Easter to Diablo Canyon. He won't be around with us. So next time I stand at Diablo, I'm going to stand just like this and hold up this cross. You think about the Spaniards, what they do to Chumash. But, wow, what a dichotomy. I mean, same with that dichotomy. Spaniards come in there, I mean, then, you know, it's all symbolism, but it all matters. Because these spirits, the good ones versus the bad ones, we know the bad ones, they're nuclear energy. We know the good ones. Fight it. So, read this. It's the perfect dichotomy of this fight. I mean, says it all, don't it? Radical far right. Well, not radical. They don't even know what radical is. They think they're radical. The far right leaning publication getting mad at so-called liberals for saying let the free market set it. It's perfect, right? And then, the lefties, oh God. Billionaire socialists. Stay tuned. The battle lines are being drawn. We got Canada on our side. It's a big step. Stay tuned.